So Donald Trump has bankrupted our farms and then let Argentina take over the soybean market. And then, after Argentina has screwed over our farmers, gave Argentina $20 billion. All in a world where he's cutting aid to literally every other nation except for Argentina. What the hell is going on?
As a farmer, we get up one morning and you give Argentina, which is our second biggest competition in the world. So I get up one morning, I turn the news on, and you give $20 billion of taxpayer money to my competition. And then the Chinese buy, I think the figure is 30 or 40 containers, ships, which is about 65,000 metric tons per ship, which is like 2.2 million bushels. So they buy 12 or $14 billion worth of soybeans from the Argentinians after the tax holiday. And here's the caveat to it. They give $2.30 over the November board, while I'm getting 50 cents under the November board. So that makes the Argentinian soybeans about $12.42 a bushel. I think that's the real figure they gave. So all my premium, they all went to Argentina.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Yes, those are MAGA farmers feeling so frustrated by Trump. In less than a year, Donald Trump has destroyed the soybean industry due to his tariffs and trade wars with China. And after bailing out Argentina $20 billion, Argentina cut their export taxes to China and sold millions of soybeans to China, a market that was once dominated by the American farmers, leaving American farmers with unsold soybeans, falling prices, and now farmers are asking, what happened to America first? So let's have a look. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing so you never miss any update from my videos. Let's dive into it.
Hey there, MAGA. How you doing? Did y'all see this here? Thought it was America first, wasn't it? I thought we weren't supposed to be giving billions of dollars to other countries, except for, Israel, so they can keep blowing up brown children with our bombs. But aside from that, I thought we were supposed to be keeping all of our money for Americans. I mean, we're certainly keeping all of our soybeans for Americans, since they're now worthless because bankruptcy Benito decided to fuck up our biggest trade partner for them. Now they're buying them from Brazil and Argentina instead of American farmers. Those same American farmers that are now going bankrupt because all of you dumb motherfuckers have the economic literacy of a 10-year-old with a credit card in Toys R Us. Even though you pudding-brained troglodytes saw how stupid tariffs were the last time you elected the dumbest thing to the Oval Office. And now your little mango molester is giving this knob goblin $20 billion of our dollars to bail out Argentina's economy. The same Argentinian alt-right libertarian loser who just lifted tariffs on China so they could sell them 20 shiploads of their soybeans. So China can get the cheap soybeans that they used to buy from us. So what say you little toothless pedophile-loving cousin fuckers, huh? Where's that America First energy now? Just seems kind of strange that after all that America First patriotic preaching bullshit, saying that we just couldn't afford to support American farmers with USAID because we were giving stuff away for free to starving children, are now chomping at the bit to bail out Argentinian farmers. And for all you MAGA voting farmers, maybe you should go check out some farmland down there, because clearly the dipshit you dumbasses decided to vote for will take much better care of you if you're an Argentina. And don't worry about your property here. J.D. Vance is all ready with a nice low offer to pay pennies on the dollar for your bankrupt family farm. But hey, since conservatives have also crashed the economy so bad in Argentina too that they need an American bailout, I'm sure you can find some cheap land and it'll all work out.
Putting America first, Trump just gave the president of Argentina $20 billion. A $20 billion financial support package Trump gave to Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, to help him with the economic crisis in Argentina and to help that president secure a victory in the upcoming October 2025 midterm elections. Okay? Do you know what that money could have done for Americans? Now, some are reporting that Argentina is an authoritarian state. Technically, it's not. But since 2023, when Javier Milei became president, there's been a lot of democratic erosion. There's been a lot of authoritarian tactics used by that president. And so, a lot of concerns have been raised by various watchdog organizations, political analysts, and human rights groups. But that $20 billion could have helped a lot of people in this country. That one big beautiful bill where cuts are being made left and right, harming and hurting U.S. citizens and children every day, and will continue to do so for some time to come, that $20 billion really could have helped us. That's not putting America first.
See, the elite of our society need Argentina to succeed. They need Argentina to succeed. Let me explain. Once upon a time, in the 80s, our country went through a complete socioeconomic restructuring. This is why I'm somewhat empathetic to MAGA people, because at the bottom of it all, they have identified one very correct thing, and it's that something has changed, and that's true. And that change happened in the 80s. See, prior to the 80s, we existed in a system known as liberalism. But then, in the 1980s, the elite of our society enforced a new system upon us, neoliberalism. Now, the mistake many people make is thinking because those two words sound the same, they're similar systems. Completely different systems. Completely different systems. And these systems were enforced upon us in the 80s by the elite because that system, neoliberalism, would benefit them. So during the transition period of neoliberalism being installed into our nation, the elites of our society used other foreign nations as test beds for their ideas. This is your Greece, this is your Chile, this is Georgia, these are your post-Soviet bloc states. And basically every single one of those experiments ended in disaster. Because neoliberalism is a nightmare system that makes everything terrible, as evident by the gestures at everything in our society. But they still enforced this philosophy on us nonetheless. And that is what is happening today. Once again, the elite of our society are toying with the idea of restructuring our socioeconomic system. And Argentina was their first test bed of that ideology. And it was a complete disaster, driving what was otherwise a struggling but stable nation into absolute societal collapse in less than a year. And so they are desperate to do anything they can to make Argentina look like it works, giving them our soybean market, giving them billions of dollars, anything they can to make Argentina look successful. But the question we need to ask ourselves is, are we going to allow the elite to once again drive us into an absolute societal ruinous philosophy, just like they did back with neoliberalism? Because they're going to pretend like it works, but it doesn't.
Where are all of the America First patriots now that Donald Trump wants to give Argentina billions of our taxpayer dollars? I thought you guys didn't want the United States to give money to Ukraine because that's not our war. You guys were okay with the US giving money to Israel so that they can commit it. But what's going on now? Do we have to bail out Argentina, a country that has absolutely nothing to do with us? After the president they elected into office promised that he was the solution to all of their problems, and now we have to bail them out? Is Donald Trump putting America first when he's gonna give up to $20 billion to Argentina? Donald Trump is defunding programs that Americans need, but there is money to send to Argentina? Did I get that right? Is that America first? I'm a little confused.
How are all you America Firsters feeling about this $20 billion lifeline to Argentina after Argentina suspended their export taxes so that China could snap up over a quarter of their soybean production this fall and not have to buy any soybeans from the United States? But what about all those farmers who voted for Trump who now don't have a market for all their soybeans because of his tariff policy? Trump's got to bail out his MAGA buddy, President Milei of Argentina. See, they're about to have midterms this month and his party is not expected to do well. It might be because of the deepening recession, the increased unemployment, the increased poverty, the mass layoffs, the unfinished infrastructure projects, the cuts to education, and all those other austerity measures that Milei's been implementing. See, those MAGA measures might get reversed if the party loses in the midterms, and Trump wouldn't like that. It's basically a loan of $20 billion in dollars where we buy up Argentinian pesos, which many investors say is a terrible idea because it's likely to keep going down. And we're loaning money to a country that's defaulted or restructured their debt 5 times since 1982.
News from the forest. In Trolls farming news, numerous agricultural states that voted red in the last election are now reaping what they sowed. Bushels of failure. Farmers in Arkansas, Tennessee, and Iowa are not able to sell their products due to the illegal Trump tariffs. The biggest international crop purchasers, like China, are buying their products from Brazil and Argentina, while Don Jr. still only buys his products from Colombia. And the food the U.S. was going to buy from these farmers to feed starving children in Africa was canceled by Elon Musk. So for Republican farmers, since the invisible hand of capitalism has rendered them losers, they are appealing to the necrosis hand of the guy that put them out of business in the first place. And just like the last time the country turned over its reins to a flatulent, math-challenged serial bankrupter, Republican farmers are begging for a bailout from the successful blue state taxpayers. Even Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley, who is an agriculture expert because he is in fact older than dirt, has complained about the guy he has also done nothing to stop. And so farmers now are approaching the boll weevil in chief, who, to be fair, did marry a scarecrow, and they're begging, straw hat in hand, for a handout. We're left with the leading feature of modern republicanism: welfare queens in overalls. FarmersOnly.com meets Ashley Madison. News from the forest.
Hi, this video is for the America First crowd, the why are we sending money to Ukraine crowd. Can you tell me why Trump's going to send $20 billion to Argentina? Why are we sending $20 billion to Argentina? Argentina is the country that China is now buying soybeans from instead of America because of Trump's tariffs. So now we have to bail out our farmers because they can't sell their crops to China, and Argentina's undercutting us and selling their soybeans to China. But we're going to bail out Argentina to the tune of $20 billion. Trump's going to do this. Trump's sending this money. So can the America First crowd explain this to me? I'm confused. I thought we needed to take care of America first. I thought we needed to spend all that money that we're sending to Ukraine on America and Americans. So why are we sending $20 billion to Argentina? Who's just undercutting our citizens?
So, we're in the middle of a government shutdown. Federal workers are being laid off. Military personnel might not get paid. But guess what? We have enough money to bail out Argentina. We just sent them $20 billion. Thanks a lot, Trump. America first, right?
What's happening right now is more than just an economic crisis. It is a political reckoning. Farmers who trusted Trump's promise to make America great again are discovering what happens when loyalty meets bad policy. His trade wars closed the door to China, a market worth over $12 billion in soybean sales, while his bailout to Argentina opened the same door wide for America's competitors, leaving MAGA farmers with crushed prices, unsold soybeans, and rising bankruptcies. Yet the truth is that these farmers, they were warned. Economists, analysts, and even fellow conservatives, they predicted this fallout years ago, but they didn't listen. Now the consequences have arrived, and it's painful to watch a proud industry brought to its knees by the very man they trusted most. Maybe this is the moment American farmers realize that politics should never come before logic and their own survival. How can you bail out another country like Argentina while your own farmers are going bankrupt? Is that really putting America first or America last? Across the Midwest, these MAGA farmers are now on TV breaking down, saying that they can't feed their families, or even save their farms, and now they want a bailout. But they voted for the very policies that destroyed their market, and even if they get a bailout, it won't fix what's already messed up because the markets are gone. China has already moved on, and it's not turning back. This is about misplaced trust and the harsh reality of consequences. They were warned that blind loyalty could cost them everything, but they didn't listen, Now as Argentina profits, the truth is clear. This was never about making America great again, but it was making others richer, while American farmers pay the price. Maybe next time, they are going to make a decisive action and vote wisely. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.